Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're tackling something that, well, pretty much affects every single one of us. We are diving into a really fascinating breakdown of what experts like to call the architect of inner noise. We're going to explore this very specific evolutionary glitch, basically the hidden programming behind our constant, nonstop overthinking. So let's jump right in and uncover exactly why your mind just never seems to stay quiet.
Have you ever just wished your mind would be completely silent, even just for a minute? We've all been there, right? That mental treadmill is just spinning out of control. You're analyzing, you're projecting, you're worrying about tomorrow, stressing about yesterday. It just keeps going and going, and honestly, it feels totally overwhelming. It's breathless, it's just flat out exhausting.
All right, so let's get into section 1, the unquiet mind, why it happens. Seriously, why does the human mind flat out refuse to give us any actual peace? Just imagine a reality for a second with no overthinking, no lying awake at 2 in the morning dwelling on regrets, no endless looping conversations inside your head where you're arguing with someone who isn't even in the room. We carry around these massive internal burdens, and they're entirely self-generated. So why do we actually do this to ourselves? That brings us to section 2, wired for survival. Evolutionary design. Now, I really want you to just let go of any guilt you might have about your overactive mind right now. Because your overthinking, it is not a character flaw. It's actually a feature. The human brain simply wasn't designed to make you feel peaceful. It was designed to keep you alive. Think about it. Thousands of years ago, overthinking was literally the ultimate key to human survival. The early humans who just sat around feeling perfectly zen, yeah, they usually didn't live very long. The survivors were the ones who were constantly analyzing every single detail around them. Our ancestors had to constantly scan their world for danger just to make it to the next day. Their minds were stuck on this permanent, hyper-vigilant loop. What if something attacks me right now? Or what if I make a fatal mistake? Anticipating the absolute worst-case scenario is literally what kept them breathing.
Moving on to section 3, the modern mismatch, ancient brain, new world.
So here is where the glitch actually happens. We're essentially running ancient survival software on modern hardware. Just notice the massive contrast here. On one hand, our ancestors faced genuine, life-or-death wild animal attacks. But on the other hand, our modern dangers are things like unreturned text messages, abstract financial stress, or just the fleeting opinions of random strangers. The danger has completely changed, but your brain hasn't really figured that out yet. It treats an awkward social interaction with the exact same intense physiological response as a saber-toothed tiger. Let's look at section 4, imagined versus real, distorting perception. So what are the psychological consequences of this mismatch? Well, we end up dedicating a massive, overwhelming chunk of our mental energy to things we just worry about, and there's only this tiny, nearly invisible little sliver left for things that actually happen. Our mind works overtime, creating these elaborate, highly detailed stories about disasters that simply never materialize in the real world. We literally spend our lives fighting phantom battles. And honestly, this is exactly why that inner noise is so dangerous. Your brain actually can't always tell the difference between imagination and reality. When you sit there and worry, your brain pumps out stress hormones as if the disaster is happening right this very second. Every single time you repeat a negative thought, it registers deep in your nervous system. You are quite literally physically reacting to something your mind just completely invented. And this creates a really dangerous overlap between fear and truth. When your mind spins these false, catastrophic narratives for long enough, you eventually start mistaking a feeling of anxiety for an objective fact about reality. Just because you feel anxious, you blindly assume, well, there must be a real threat out there, even when your environment is actually perfectly safe. Which brings us to section 5. You are the observer, a liberating shift. I want you to just take a breath with me here, really, because this right here is probably the most liberating realization you can possibly have. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Just let that sink in for a second. You are not the noise, you are the awareness behind the noise. The exact moment you realize this, the moment you stop blindly believing every single thought your survival-driven mind throws at you, that is the exact moment your life begins to change. We really need to completely redefine what our goal even is here. You see, the illusion of peace is this false hope that one day your mind is just going to become completely silent. But remember what we talked about. A silent mind meant a dead ancestor. True peace doesn't happen when the survival mechanism just magically shuts off. True peace comes when you simply stop fighting every single thought. It's all about changing your relationship to the noise rather than trying to just delete it.
So, how do we actively change this relationship day to day? Well, it takes a really simple 3-step mindset shift. Step 1, observe it. When a worried thought pops into your head, just notice it without any judgment. Just kind of say to yourself, okay, there's my survival brain doing its thing. Step 2, learn from it. Ask yourself if this is a real, immediate threat in the room with you or just an imagined one. And finally, step 3, let it go. You don't have to argue with it, you don't have to fix it, just allow the thought to pass by, almost like a cloud drifting across the sky.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty big question to think about. Your mind speaks every single second of the day, but are you going to believe every word? Because you have a choice now. You are the observer. You can listen to all that ancient chatter without letting it control your modern reality. So step back, observe the noise, and just watch how much lighter your world becomes when you finally stop taking your own thoughts so seriously.